What's up everyone, John from ARTV. Before we get into today's review, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Tidal Streaming Music. Jay-Z reached out to... I'm just kidding, Tidal didn't sponsor this, and I would never accept that sponsorship. Lil Wayne, free Weezy album, aka FWA. What do you expect from a Lil Wayne album in 2015? There's been a lot of shit in the past few years. Am I a fan of his music? Asked me before about 2008, I might have said yes. Between about 2009, 2014, no, I wasn't really. There were singles in there, definitely. There was some stuff that I really did enjoy on the Carter 4, like She Will, one of my favorite rap songs of that year. Him and Drake were great on that one. I even liked that single that he released last year, Believe Me, and I was thinking that that would be the lead-off single from the Carter 5, but there's a lot of tensions going on between Wayne and his record label, Cash Money Records, Birdman, aka his mentor, and that sort of thing. There's been a very public feud and falling out there, so I'm interested to see what exactly is going on here. Now, this new mixtape is released under the Tidal exclusivity, but at the same time it still has that Young Money imprint on it, which is an imprint of Cash Money Records. So I don't think he's exactly free from the label yet, but I think this album is really just about more than that. There are definitely some shots at Birdman and some other label executives, I believe, some other rappers that maybe participate in that label or just deal with stuff that goes on behind the scenes. But I think mainly he discusses a lot of new themes here, stuff that we haven't necessarily heard from him in a while, and he does get very braggadocious on some of these tracks, over the top and eccentric and that sort of thing, but he sounds better than he has in a very, very long time. I would have to agree with Mark over at Spectrum Pulse, who said that he's sounding the best he has since the Carter 3 in 2008. Now, like I said, did enjoy a few songs here and there, but he really just plastered his name all over the place, got very much overexposed, and Lil Wayne has this immense fan base, and I think it means something totally different to me than it does to them whenever I say Lil Wayne got back on his game, because I never saw him as being this super talented rapper, but he was someone that was enjoyable, at least from time to time. I never really got into any of his full lengths that much, at least. The Block is Hot and the Carter 3 would probably be my favorites, maybe even the Carter 2. I like some tracks off of that one as well. My cousin got me into that back in the day, but I feel like a lot of people see him as this rapper that has this extreme technical ability and being very lyrical and that sort of thing, and I've never seen that being the case. He is one of those rappers that really takes an ad-lib and just plays off of it over and over again and kind of harps on it throughout the track. You can see that on the opening track, Glory, here on this new record, talking about smells, something that's very pungent and striking, and he just kind of plays that from smell to smell here on that track, and it's a good song. It's one that's hard-hitting, something better than Wayne has been doing in the past, but still, at the same time, I'm not overwhelmed by any ability. All of this being said, this project, FWA, is more enjoyable than anything that he's put out in quite a long time. I'm enjoying it even more than the Carter 4, I would say. At the time of my review on that album, I don't think that I was qualified to be covering rap by any means. I mean, Lil Wayne was probably one of the only rappers that I had ever heard at that point in my life, so whenever I heard it, I was like, okay, this is pretty good, I'm stupid, I'm 19 years old, I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm sorry right now for that review. So I'm just going a little bit off the cuff with this Lil Wayne FWA review, just to give you a general overview of my thoughts on it, some of my past feelings towards Lil Wayne and that sort of thing. And like I said, I'm pretty impressed with this album, at least in its first half. Now, there is a sharp decline in the second half of this record, right around post-Bail Ballin. That one is just one that's very uneven in terms of not only its instrumental, but really his flow on that track. It's very much in your face, very much bragging and that sort of thing, and just talking about what he's gonna do. He's got all of these chains and that sort of thing, and you know, he doesn't even want them, but he's gonna buy them anyways. And I love, I have to give a shout out to the people that annotate on Rap Genius, because reading along with this and reading some of the annotations on that thing, it's absolutely hysterical. It reads like someone reading a masterpiece feeder version of Lil Wayne's music. Right off the bat, we get some hard-hitting tracks on the record, with Glory, that I already mentioned, He's Dead, which makes great use of its sample, just a very fun track, and then I Feel Good, which is the most joyous I've seen Wayne in probably ever, I would have to say. I like that one a whole lot. And then of course I like London Roads, really, and just the first 6 tracks in general. Psycho is even kind of weird. It's different. It sees Lil Wayne being obsessed, but at the same time I like seeing this different side of him. Now Psycho, if you look at it from just an outsider's point of view and you read the lyrics, you're thinking this song is creepy as shit. And yeah, it kind of is. Lil Wayne's talking about just looking through his girl's phone, sniffing her panties while she's not in the room, and all of this other stuff, and you're thinking, okay, wow. But I think the point of this song is just the fact that maybe sometimes we all obsess a little bit too much over that significant other, and I like seeing Wayne branch it out a little bit. I also like that track, I'm That Hitta. Yeah, I'm censoring it because I'm That Hitta is one that really just, it's very abrasive, but at the same time, it's one that's catchy as hell. The beat on this thing is infectious, and it gets stuck in my head throughout the day. Lil Wayne's flow on this one is aggressive, he's assertive on this one, and I really liked Hoodie Baby's feature on this track. Talking about selling a brick in church, I laughed out loud. That was one of the most hilarious lines on this entire record, in my opinion. Towards the end of this thing, I'm not into a lot of the tracks, honestly. White Girl featuring Jeezy, I think that track is mainly about cocaine rather than just a white girl in general, so not really digging the flow of that track. The one with Wiz Khalifa, Living Right, is just one that fell off as well. I think there was a turning point, like I said, in this record, starting around Without You, post-Bail Ballin. I gotta say that I enjoyed the closer on this record though, even though it is 6 minutes long and overstates its welcome a little bit. It's very solid, and the track Thinkin Bout You is one that I really like as well. It's not something that I necessarily would have expected to like, because Lil Wayne comes in with that deep, kind of a little bit like distorted, thinking about you, girl. And I was like, okay, the first time I heard that, I was like, okay, that's really, really cheesy. But the more I heard it, I was like, okay, I'm tapping my foot along to this. Okay, I'm into it. Alright, this is one of my favorite songs on the record. There's a twinkling keyboard and shimmering synth on that track that makes it even more memorable. I just think that it's cool that he manages to reel that all in and still put off a chorus that isn't exactly the norm for something that he would do, but he manages to make it work. I mentioned liking My Heart Races On featuring Jake Trop earlier. This is one that has a more somber feel to it. It's a little bit slower. It's got some snaps in there, and it's got a nice groove and vibe about it. It's more laid back, and I like that Lil Wayne can still take a different side and actually make it work for himself. I don't really care for the track Murda, which appears right in the heart of this track listing. It features not only Lil Wayne himself, of course, but longtime collaborator Corey Guns, and then Junior Reed, Capo. That track tries to be aggressive and dominant, and I don't see them pulling it off here on this track. Overall, with FWA, I'm kind of torn down the middle with how I feel about it. I'm excited that Lil Wayne is showing more promise, but at the same time, showing promise and actually delivering on a full length is two totally different things. This record definitely stays way too long. It's like that guy at the party who knows things have wrapped up. Clearly, almost everyone except for the people who are hosting the party themselves have cleared out, but you're still hanging around. It's an hour and 6 minutes of Lil Wayne. There's not a ton of features, and there's not enough to really carry that much time. Not enough to really justify it, at least. For me personally, even though I do like some of these songs, I think some of them will grow on you, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. If you've heard the new Lil Wayne mixtape FWA, which you probably have, it was downloaded over 10 million times in its first week, which is insane to me, then let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. Do you think he's returned to form? Do you think he still is just the worst rapper of all time? I know he's fun to hate on, but at the same time, don't hate without a reason. Give it a listen, and let me know what you thought in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button while you're at it. Maybe subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. And let me know about other albums you'd like to see me tackle. Sound off in the comments, and I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.